Cambridge has always had music. The first Bachelor of Music degree, awarded in 1464, marks the start of a rich tradition that has evolved through figures from John Dowland and Orlando Gibbons to Vaughan Williams and Charles Stanford, right up to the innumerable talents of the present. Under King Charles II, the first professor of music was appointed in 1684, but it was only in 1947, in the wake of the Second World War, that a faculty of music was established along with its own Tripos. To celebrate this first 75 years, we look back on its traditions and on its characters.
The reason why I think so many composers have come to Cambridge and been a success is that the choral tradition gave Cambridge a big reputation already before the music faculty was founded.
What underlay my teaching was trying to teach them to be themselves, discover who they were by means of their music. So this chord doesn't seem right. Are you sure about that note, that move there, the form, that bit, that paragraph, that's a bit redundant. On the other hand, that bit is undernourished, perhaps expand it, do more. And this sort of, that certainly won't work. The flute balanced with the trombone there will be terrible. But what a good idea, well, why not take that further? And that was when that fell on fertile ground, a composer already, a George Benjamin, a Tom Adès, a Judith Weir, who were already finding their own voices, even as they were students here. This sort of method just flourished, encouraging and trying to get to the essence of whatever it was that I thought they were trying to reach, and essentialize it, concentrate it, get it more characterized until eventually it was their character.
Well, Cambridge has always been a bit of a byword for a place that spews out brilliant performers and composers and indeed scholars. If you try to think about what it is in the water at Cambridge that makes this happen, it's perhaps a rather obvious answer, but I would be inclined to put it down very much to the collegiate system. Every music student, and of course we should remember that not all of these brilliant performers have been music students, but every student comes into this relatively small college community which has its own traditions, its own music society. There are established ways of doing things, and you become part of a small but importantly critical mass of people whose job it is to make things happen.
I think all faculties will evolve. If they don't, they will die, actually. I'm the 1684 Professor of Music here in Cambridge. I'm a cultural historian. I specialise in France. If I look across the faculty, I do see 14 rugged individualists, but we do also form clusters and families. Obviously, we have the Centre for Music and Science, and we have the Centre for Music and Performance Studies. I think we have probably the largest family of medievalists in the UK. And we're pretty good, though I say it myself, on the 19th century, everything from analysis to global opera and to scientific history of science approaches. So those are, I think, are some of the strengths. And then we have a really strong interdisciplinary bent, I think. So if I think about the way that composition has been moving, a recent piece by Richard Corsten involved the collaboration with engineering, and of course music and science itself. We have long-standing collaborations with education and with computer science. So having started out with the islands of activity, I think more and more in 2021 it is these connections that are becoming so important, and I think those are becoming more important with our new hires. I think about Peter McMurray and work in the ethnomusicology of Islam, but also popular music studies and jazz.
We're recording actually the day after I've done a couple of days of examining for Part 2 recitals, and at least one of those recitals was absolutely stupendous. I don't think you could hear better on the stage of the Wigmore Hall or the Festival Hall or anything like that. That is constantly amazing, but there are also intellectual aspects to the students. I mean, that side of students tends to develop later. But of course, it's also the season when one's been marking lots of essay scripts. And I can remember over the years coming across scripts where I've been genuinely moved by what the students have written.
Oh, this was the most wonderful thing about this place. It's just the quality of talent, the quality of students. And they always surprise me, and every single day.
On the one hand, we have to open their minds, and on the other hand, we have to equip them for life. To be a musician is a vocation, and I never overestimated what we were doing.
Well, I think music has got to be thought of primarily as a humanity. For me, the most treasurable, the most valuable, the most sublime achievement of the human race. Can't say more than that.